Alright. Let's get our interface set up here and get my cat off my lap. What's up, guys? Wee-woo here. Today is Thursday, which means it's time for another OFCRA PvP commentary. As always, we're going to be on a 5-minute delay, so chat, please pardon me for 5 minutes as I answer things as they come. But otherwise, it is a British versus German operation. German, I believe, is going to be on Blue 4, because that's how they normally are in IFA-based operations here. And as always now with OFCRA ops and FNF, if I'm doing solo streams, I will go in the TFAR channel so we can have a listen to them locally. And then when they start dying, I'll go ahead and mute myself to move things. There is a piano bent over right there, which is kind of funny. But otherwise, here are the German forces, and then we're going to go ahead and look over at the British forces. Here's a quick look at the map. I won't be on the map too much because Twitch doesn't really like that. So just to give you a sample of what is here. For some reason, the Brits are on the OFCRA side, and they're playing they're playing bagpipes right now. It's pretty funny. Give me 1 second.
If you have an open-bolt weapon like Anderson or me, putting the safety on doesn't help if you click, because when you take the safety off, it shoots anyway.
So the Brits are giving some briefs here for their own guys, and they're also playing the bagpipes to entertain themselves as the operation goes on here. But otherwise, should be a pretty good operation. And we have, I guess, some front forces here, and then some additional forces, the main force, if you will, on either side over here. So we're going to do a quick breakdown of the operation itself. So the main not really operation, the main focus of the op itself is going to be for control of this position. Thank you for doing that. Okay. It's because they get mad when again, Twitch is being Twitch, but we have control of the center of the town here. Oh shit, that's actually... I didn't realize IFA updated camos like that. Cool. Anyway, whoever can control this purple area by the end of an hour and a half will get 3 points. So this is going to be where the main battle is going here. Now there's 2 secondary objectives. The first is a Sherman Firefly that is entrenched right here. It is damaged, though, so the British cannot use it. But they do have some Maxim machine guns here to help defend this position. I believe there were 2, but I can't seem to... Okay, they pulled it out over here. So if the Germans are able to destroy this, they get 3 points. But if the British are able to keep it alive, they get 3 points. So this is going to be a really hastily controlled objective here from either side, because that is a big chunk of points on the table. Now, at this German artillery position, there are 3 guns facing the opposite way for some weird reason from the front line, but that's A-okay. Again, they are not usable by the players here. They're just set pieces. If the Germans are able to defend these, they only get a single point, but if the British are able to destroy them, then the British get a single point. And then, of course, you have your supremacy bonus. Whereas if the British are whittled down to 5 units or less, the Germans get a point, and if the Germans are whittled down to 5 units or less, the Germans get a point. So anyway, let's take a look at the British forces here. So we've got a good chunk of infantry, Lee Enfield. There are bayonets as well, so we might see people try to do bayonet charges on each other. But the British have 3 Bren universal carriers, and each one does have a Bren gun on the front. So they've got, you know, some light mechanized capabilities here, and they also have a Willie Pete Jeep and a single transport truck that they can utilize. That's Lend-Lease from the U.S. because it is a U.S. mutt truck, I believe. But I already saw them loading up medical supplies in some of these Vics. But otherwise, I've got some Thompsons, some Sten guns, some, again, the Lee Enfields with the bayonets. and some Bren guns as well, and then the RTOs also have Lee Enfield. So generally what you would see as the British, the Thompsons are a bit interesting. I think it looks like there's part of the vehicle crews. It's a mix of Thompsons and Sten guns. So again, you know, we'll lend lease here. The mission maker does say on the top left of the map that not everything is meant to be completely historically accurate. Some of it's for balance for PvP, which makes total sense. And then I might actually stick around and cover the bonus round as well, because why not? I usually don't do that. But since this is a shorter round, it's only going to be an hour and a half. We might as hell, right? Just to have fun with it. They just punched Bluck to knock him out. And we still keep hearing the punches there, but that is the main British force. We're going to scroll over here and look at the secondary force in greater detail, because I did see a sniper rifle.
How much can I carry? 5? I can carry 5, okay.
Yeah, so we have Saman right here,
My backpack?
who does have a scoped Lee Enfield, so that's interesting to see. Again, they've got 2 machine guns to work with, and a thing of bagpipes, which they are avid on playing. And then the lead has a Sten gun. So this is just, again, that force to defend this tank. Meanwhile, looking over at the German front squad that is defending the artillery pieces.
We are Alpha from Epsilon.
We have some MP44s in play, some MP40s, some G43s. Is that a 42? Yes, that is a 42. There was an op for OFCRA about 3 or 4 weeks ago that just showed the power of the G3. Oh, God. That's not good. Never mind. We got a scoped Car 98 as well, so basically these are like weapon teams. But there's definitely a lot more submachine guns in this group than the other, which is probably why the British get those Bren carriers to kind of help counteract the fact that the Germans have such deadly weaponry. That MG42 is especially going to be nasty, though it does have the side drum mags, which means that's only like a 46-round drum right there. But that thing's fire rate is super nasty. Again, a few weeks ago we saw a G3, an MG3 get used, and that fire rate itself was just able to stop the opposing squads dead in their tracks. So I'll be curious to see how those guns are used for this one. Now, for the rest of the German forces, we have some G3s in play. Excuse me, some G43s, the Ruhr. It's a semi-automatic rifle. Got some Car 98s as well, with some bayonets on the front. I do see a Car 98 with a grenade adapter, though, so we do have some grenadiers. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go back to the UK side. Was there any UK grenadier adapters for their guns? I don't see any. So that's another advantage to the German forces, is they get grenadiers. Interesting. It's probably going to be an unlimited supply, but that's another reason why I like doing OFCRA commentaries, because they get a lot of cool stuff on either side to help counteract each other. And then we also see some AT forces. I'm willing to bet he has AT grenades as well to try to take on those Brens. So those Brens cannot get too close. But we are seeing 3 half-tracks here. The Brens are going to be a little more maneuverable, but the half-tracks, they got some camo up top, and they've got MG42s up top as well. We already see people mounting, but I'm not seeing any MP42s. I think that's only... Nope, I stand corrected. But I am willing to bet... No, he's just part of a squad. Interesting.
Yeah.
So I'd say out of all the guns that I've seen so far, the MP... actually, I think it's the MP44, my bad. That's like the best gun overall, because it's literally like the progenitor to an assault rifle. But we have a really good mix here. And I'd definitely give the gear advantage to the Germans, but that's also kind of why the Brits get a little more defensive on their objectives. Also, I didn't see any MG42s to start on the German side over here, so they're balancing this out by giving the British, you know, 2 machine guns to help defend this one spot, because the Germans don't have any long-range AT, so they're gonna have to get close to do AT grenades on this piece, which is why they were given 2 machine guns. I believe if they weren't Maxons, they were Vickers then. Otherwise, mission has started. Someone just said something, I believe German, because they got disconnected, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure these. I can't tell between Maxon and Vickers. I'm sorry, they're very similar to me.
Ah ouais, mais elle est basse en fait.
Bah, fallait regarder, nom de Dieu.
But another nice thing about OFCRA is, I mean, FNF is getting this way too, but there's a lot of multilingual communities. There's a lot more Czech communities in OFCRA compared to FNF. That's also because FNF is mainly, you know, has the EU and NA branches, but OFCRA is a literal French community. So, otherwise, chat, I hope you guys are doing okay. Hope you enjoy this operation. And let's see how everything goes. So we already have a British strike team coming in to the center of town here. We have some of the Germans on defense. I'm gonna have to mute my mic because someone is hot micing stuff in that channel, so I apologize. Probably the guy that got disconnected, unfortunately. I don't think that's the same Anderson from FNF, but we might have 4 Germans run into this British group as the Germans are starting to push south, probably to try to do a wide flank on the tank here. And we've got the British playing a bit more defensive because, again, that tank is worth more points defending. What was that? I think that was just a misclick right there as they're, I guess, trying to help dig trenches, but I think the Germans are too far to hear that. Something that's a little concerning, though, is this German group. We've got a Kar 98, a G43, an MP40, and we got this guy hiding right here. Does he have the MG42? Yeah, he's waiting right there. That's a really nasty solo ambush spot. Really tough to tell. Like, there's a little bit of contrast right there, but that's a great spot to be in, assuming the enemy comes down the MSR, because they're trying to plan that the British forces are just going to walk down here, and Carlitos is going to be able to get some free kills. But I would imagine the British forces, if they find MG42s, they're probably going to have people take those instead of, you know, keeping their Lee Enfields. There's nothing against weapon looting. There might be a rule today against driving each other's mechanized transport vehicles, but I doubt it because they're both wheeled-based. But look at this. I think we're about to see an ambush right here. They knocked out one guy. So Gotland is, oh, another guy down. No one's coming over to double tap Gotland, though. As Gotland wakes back up, he has a Thompson. He could do a lot of damage here. Everyone's exposed. Grenade is thrown. No way. Oh, and they don't know it was from him. Beautiful grenade throw by Gotland. He is one of the guys to watch in OFCRA. Another grenade going over to smoke to conceal his own position. Minos is back here. He's going to hear that smoke and start walking around. As Gotland is now crawling forward with his gun on his back, but he's going to be spotted by Minos and drops. Unfortunate. Oh, if Gotland poked out and sprayed down with his Thompson, he could have done so much damage there, because I think Liquid's going to be able to get David up. So that is 2 kills on the British on the get-go. Oh, poor Noobass. I always try to cheer him on because we DM each other all the time. I wished him good luck. And he was the first one to die. Of course. Streamer's curse, man. It's a real fucking thing. I need to stop wishing him good luck. Alright. Otherwise, these guys have driven up here. They've dismounted, and they are trying to come around right here. More British forces are coming, but they're very slow here. Because we also have some German forces coming around this side to potentially try to hit that... oh, Oh my gosh, the Sherman Firefly. I think the Germans are going to try to plan an attack to take out this Firefly, get those 3 points, and then hold the center of town for another 3 points. Because if they're able to control those 2 objectives, the Germans are more than likely going to win. So it's going to be up to the British to try to get some ambushes in. They don't really have to focus on attacking the field guns early on because it's only worth a single point. Rather, they can just play defensive, let the Germans come to them, take them out in the open with ambushes, and just whittle them down, similar to what you just saw the Germans do to get 2 free kills on this British group. STG-44, that's it. My bad, I'm sorry. I was saying MP40, MP40, no, I was saying MP42, MP44. That's totally my bad. It's been a while since I've done some World War II stuff. But yeah, the, let's see, I'm just trying to find some examples so I can prove to you I'm not a complete idiot. Got one of the Opel Blitz trucks coming up and literally blitzing across the line here. Yeah, so Flip, he's got an MP40, and then you saw a few guys with that STG-44 earlier. I believe there was one guy in the... Actually, there it is right there. I will say the only weapon in the same class I would say is better than the STG-44 is the... what is it? The fucking... What's the airborne Falmenjäger gun? That one that can literally do like a burp fire. It's burst fire. It's also like a, you know, a burp gun. So Zix took a second for Zix to die as he was sprayed down by Hunt here with the MG44. Now they're trying to pick him off here, but that grenade just stayed in Hippie's face, and he is still, he's crippled as Zix's body here, he doesn't really understand that he's dead yet. Oh, but he just had this guy walk out and get gunned down. Rest in peace, Hippie. He drew a secondary last second. This team is getting knocked out pretty hard here, unfortunately. Yes, the delay's up, don't worry. I make sure of it. There's something that OBS tells me to let me know, and it looks like the truck got destroyed. Interesting. So German forces still coming around on that far north flank, northern flank. We still got the ambush team was focusing on getting Davidoff up from that nasty grenade blow. And we've got some British guys that were trying to basically scout out, hit that artillery position that were already ambushed. They're now trying to come up and contend with the German garrison, but they are not getting an edge here. We got Bob Winchester, Mr. Cool, Sky Online. He's trying to flank around to go hit the guns. What does he have, though? I don't see any grenades selected, and he starts getting shot at by Jonathan there, so he's going to be forced to pull back. But if these 3 guys' goal were to get into that RD spot, it's going to be really difficult with these Overwatch positions, because there are some windows that can, you know, see through the shrubbery there and overwatch that artillery position. Still on 3. We've got another British group that is under contact from some Germans here. It was another Bren carrier coming up. They're overwatching with the gun. Some of the Germans have climbed up here. They're trying to pick units off. Though with an MP40 and an STG-44, not the 2 best guns you'd want up there because of the recoil. But they can get a lot of gunfire down range. But see how he's spraying all over the place? He can't really be too accurate with it. But they do have the MG42 here doing a massive amount of suppression on the right flank, and that is forcing the Bren carrier to pull back. Ooh, we just heard a bullet impact something. But it looks like they're still okay. Ah, you see that texture change on the Bren carrier? That means it's taking a nasty bit of damage there. But these British forces are going to be forced to pull back. I don't know if they took any casualties. But Bob Winchester just disconnected. I'm willing to bet because he went down. Yeah, that team has not taken any KIA. I'm going to quickly look back. I do see Bob Winchester missing. But we still have Mr. Cool and Sky Online coming around. But Mr. Cool doesn't spot his friend's body there. We still potentially have Rick overwatching as the medic. He hasn't spotted anything yet, though. Cool's just trying to decide what he's going to do here. Meanwhile, on this other fight, we do have Callie, who was picked off up here earlier. He was the guy with the STG-44. That is unfortunate. But otherwise, the Germans have a nice lead here with the player count here. Because the British appear to be, you know, just this full roster here, nothing below, and only NASA commanding up the top, whereas the Germans have an extra, like, 4 or 5 guys. Add the fact that the Brits are down an entire team minus 1 guy. We also have Rigel that went down in this group as they're pulling back, so that is also unfortunate. Now we got Mr. Cool, though. He just put some gunshots out there, though. He's contending with people on that upper window, Rizbo. And he just picked Rizbo off with a clean headshot. Nice shot by Mr. Cool there, showing us how it's done. He just spotted someone on the second-story window and also put a shot out. That was believed to be the German RTO here. So good on Mr. Cool getting a lick in, trying to get a second, then quickly pulling back, realizing that both of these buildings are garrisoned. And as long as he plays his cards right, he should be okay. Meanwhile, Sky Online's trying to do a wide flank here to potentially take out those guns. British forces, meanwhile, are sending a large counterattack to the northwest to potentially try to flank around that German position. A lot of British forces here. The question is, can they get around in time? Because this force has pretty much pulled back. You do have on that here, who appears to be bandaging. What gun does he have? Looks like a Lee Enfield as well. Yep. Just to see if any Germans come up to try to see if there's anyone that can be tapped. FG-42, that's the name of that machine gun I was thinking. Well, not machine gun, the Fallmann-Jaeger assault rifle. That thing is a fun gun. And again, I know the MG-42, in my opinion, if I had any German gun to pick for a World War II up, I would always pick an MG-42, but, you know, I'm just talking assault rifles. I mean, it could be worse. You could play Call of Duty World War II and find a bunch of Germans on the west coast of Normandy with PPSHs. Granted, if you do research, you do find out that that did happen, but not in the sheer amount that was in that fucking video game. Fuck, this op has so far been more accurate, historically accurate, excuse me, than that silly game, man. Alright, so otherwise these guys pulled back. They abandoned their Bren carrier. Did take a nasty bit of damage there, possibly had its engine shot out. And you still have the British coming around on this flank, so hopefully the Germans hold here, but they are moving their half-track up to try to cover this route. And it looks like the Brits are actually starting to come back. And Dave is taking some pot shots from a German garrison right here. It is a marksman, actually. Foxhound. He's already gotten 1 kill. Which I would assume was the man that was killed off in that group. But otherwise, they're being forced to pull back. Looking back around here, looks like Mr. Cool is still alive. Good on Mr. Cool here. Little exposed on this flank. I can't get a click on him. There we go. Still on 1 kill. Still keeping it low, and the Germans are still kind of trying to look around for him. If Mancott were to look a little to the right, he would be able to spot him from the window. But he's focusing on this one angle here. Mr. Cool finding an angle on... Who is this right here? Mr. White. Battle of the Misters. He is now coming up, and they can hear him reloading down there. Meanwhile, you still have Sky Online doing this wide flank, just trying to check out to make sure everything's okay. But otherwise, Mr. Cool still checking things. Grenade gets thrown around there. I think he just tried to enhance movement in that window, but wasn't able to. He's going to have to find a door, but the Germans haven't been covering it in this building. Interesting. All right, meanwhile, the Germans have some more forces coming in. They're holding a side flank here, covering the rear northwest of this Blue 4 group. And the Brits have stopped. Sure, interesting. Out of curiosity, where are the commanders in all of this? So you actually have the German commander prone in a wheat field close to his one objective. Sky Online losing connection, but I think he was able to recover. I think he's fine. All right, good. Because he is going to be very vital in sabotaging this as Mr. Cool rages his one-man guerrilla war as additional forces are called in to try to scan for Mr. Cool. Nice. But meanwhile, we have NASA, who's my correspondent in OFCRA that keeps inviting me to these events. He is back, I believe, at the UK spawn base, coordinating with Factive House Logic, which I believe is his 2IC, but is acting as a Bren gunner right now, and they got that Willie's Jeep to drive in later in the operation. Because, again, you got to remember, it's still a... Why can't I make my timer come up? I have to use the map for it. All right. It's an hour-and-a-half operation with a 10-minute safe start, so it's at an hour 40, it'll be over, but we still have an hour and a little over 10 minutes for this operation here. Otherwise, Sky Online, I would assume he has explosive charges here, but if he's able to snipe this objective right under the Germans' noses, that would be great for the Brits to score that 1 point, and then all they need to do is hold one of the 2 3-point objectives and they can still win. But they got to be careful in these outskirt firefights because the Germans still have a lot of forces on reserve they can send in. And I would hate to see the British get an advantage here only to lose it to German manpower. So we have another UK guy dead. Also being paranormal as he's dead, but... I believe that was the RTO for Mr. Cool's group, which I believe is Glasgow. Yep. Alright, so we still have the Germans holding this crossroad. The British are finally making a move down the road here. This could catch the Germans out of position, especially since their half-track is looking down where the British forces were right there. Well, otherwise the Germans are staying in this building, trying to look around. But you also have Dark Neo watching down that road, so if the Brits continue on it, they will eventually get spotted a little early on. Alright, meanwhile, you got Sky Online here. Has he planted anything yet? I don't see anything just yet. He is next to a German supply box here. So it's possible he might be able to get something. But it looks like the Germans are regrouping here, trying to still find Mr. Cool as he's come into a building. Still with his Lee Enfield, yep. Now, the question is, are these guys going to go up and recheck that artillery position and find Sky Online? Because he's definitely checking through his inventories. Oh, Mr. Cool was just spotted as he came around on the side. So they might quickly call into that German group to come back, and that might buy Sky Online some more time to sabotage this position. All right, he does have explosive satchels on him. but he has it on just the one so far. I don't see any others. So we'll go back and check on him in a second. As I hear gunfire, the Brits just got flanked by a German group coming up. Friendly German grenade going off on Benares there as he gets stuck and killed by a British grenade that came up. That's unfortunate. But a lot of the German forces are actually getting knocked out right here to grenades and shrapnel. UK forces definitely took a few KIA as well, though. I see at least 3 bodies around. So they got pretty nastily hammered there, but... yeah, they got 3 KIA. How's this German group doing, though? It's just Roland that's up. He took 1 KIA, and 1 is down. Snake Doctor woke back up. He needs to pick that guy up and move him, but we also have the half-track coming up the road here to cover. We still got a few British forces over here, but they seem to be a little less. Looks like 1 more was picked off. 2 more were picked off right there. And you just had those explosives go off on the artillery position. 2 of them were knocked out, and unfortunately, Sky Online was just picked off, but the guns are down. That is a good sacrifice to play. That is going to give the first points on the board to the British. It's just a single point. But with that, all the British need to do now is hold either of the 3-point positions, either hold control of the Firefly or hold control of this town, and they'll win. As long as they don't take losses to the point they're 5 units or less, which, not gonna lie, has also been a little worrisome here. But it looks like the British forces over here are unfortunately shooting at each other. It's World War II. PID is very difficult. Yeah, so he's shooting up at 6-or there. At least I think he is. Maybe he sees the movement from Barmaglot. 6-or is going to come out. MG42 is looking. 6-or, I think, just went prone right there. His leg got shot out from a shot. Nope, he is A-okay. I do see blood right there. He tried to put some shots on Snake Doctor, but wasn't able to land a kill. And Mr. Cool is also down. So the Brits have a small garrison up on the center of town for the 3-point objective. They have a small garrison holding the Sherman Firefly, and the rest of their forces are out to the northwest, but the Germans definitely have a numbers advantage here. So if the Brits want to stay in the game, they're either going to have to be really good with their defensive garrisons, or this British force needs to beat this German garrison here. Where did Snake Doctor go? Alright, he pulled back. And the chat's talking about the definition of Jaeger. Otherwise, Bren Carrier mounted up and is desperately trying to drive away as these 3 guys are pulling back, probably to go reassigned to a defensive operation. I'll be curious to see which AO they go to, and I'll be curious if the Germans, realizing they've lost that objective, launch an attack on this area. As we already see... Ooh! Dorden, not realizing he was taking shots from the south, and either Snakes or Hood were able to pick him off with some Lee Enfields. It's like Snakes was doing it because he's doing a reload right now. He could still wake back up. He's got a medic close by, but... Yep, they're trying to pop some smokes to get some concealment to grab him. But now the Germans will, hopefully, at least by hearing those shots, know that there's some British forces in this sector. What I'm really curious about for Sixor is he going to flank around the hedge on the right side, stay low, and then pick off Gonzo here from the flank, because there is an opening right here, but Arrow is definitely keeping his eyes on it. I think they're really relying on their Overwatch here to spot anything, but Sixor's close enough to be able to hide himself in that area. So we got 2 smoke grenades going. Alpha here has dragged Dordan down. Carlitos is trying to cover with the MG42. But the UK forces are... I'm sorry I keep calling them UK. British forces are holding that position. Meanwhile, the Bren carrier has pulled back. I don't see any radios on them either, so their RTO is dead, so they're an independent unit right now. I know, Hippie. I saw you get picked off early. You guys got a pretty nasty ambush there that happened to you. But Sky Online was able to complete the objective and detonate, yep, the 3 artillery sites. You'll see this in 5 minutes, but that was a great play to watch. But thank you so much for the sub, my man. Hope you keep enjoying the ops. Always a pleasure to do PvP commentary for OFCRA. It gives great contrast to what you see in FNF, for example. And I hope you enjoy the rest of this little stream. So, Sixor, taking it low and slow, checking through the hedges. He is going to probably be able... If he saw both Arrow and Gonzo here, he should pick off Arrow first and then Gonzo. Might be able to get 2 free headshots here, but the Germans are launching a counterattack here with this force coming around on the British forces' northeastern flank. That is a little worrisome. And then you're hearing some machine gun fire as German forces are moving a large group to try to contest with the British on the main neutral objective. But I really want to see what Sixor does here. Oh, he's going to poke out. He's going for that headshot. Snake Doctor doesn't notice because Arrow's looking right there. Oh! Sixor getting a kill, but Snake Doctor getting a retaliation kill. Nasty. I get you, Hippie. Okay, it's 3 points, 1 point per gun. I get you now. I get you now. All right. My apologies. I misread the thing then. So, yeah, all 3 points. So 3 points to the British. That makes sense. I thought it was like a gear choice or something. So 3 points total, 1 point per artillery gun. All 3 artillery guns are down, so that's 3 points to the British. My mistake. I think it's interesting. The British turned around this. I believe this is a 34? Yeah, based off of the barrel, this is a static MG 34 there. The Germans did a bunch of smoking, though. They're crossing to try to come around and attack this position from a different angle, potentially because the British used that machine gun against them. So it's got a bit of a slower fire rate, but it's better for sustained fire, in my opinion. So with the British forces here, the Germans are now trying to come down this hedge here, but the British have no idea. I know the British are on the board right now with 3 points, but I could see the remaining British forces getting overwhelmed. We still have about an hour and minute and a little bit of change in seconds, but we're going to have to see some really tight defensive plays here, because now we're starting to see forces surround this little town objective here in the middle. And this clock tower doesn't have an angle on those dismounts. That machine gun's in the open. Don't get me wrong, from these buildings here, the British could do a lot of damage, but there's just more automatic weapons on the German side, and it's a little worrisome. Skelly's op was great, JY. Thanks for asking. Otherwise, the British made a push, and I see a few knocked out Germans here. Some of the Germans are even pulling back, but if they have this other force come around and hit the British from the rear, That could be all they need, but Snake Doctor going quick here to try to pull this half-track out of position to prevent the British from capturing it. That's a good call. You got Foxhound that's come up here. He is a marksman. Or I guess technically in World War II that would be a sniper rifle. And he's trying to find some British heads here to pick off. As I think both German squads here are going to prepare a counterattack. So a lot of German offenses here. They have their marksman looking up in that clock tower and picking off one of the British defenders. If Salmon knows what that death screen means, he knows his battle buddy is dead in the clock tower. He's turning around trying to look for where that shot came from, but doesn't realize that the Germans have just went behind the building. So really quick maneuvering by the German forces here, getting some more pickoff kills. With every British death, it just looks less and less likely that the British are going to be able to maintain this 3-point lead. And now you're having the counterattack on the other parts of the fight here. British going to be holding a building. Found a Sten gun upstairs. Excuse me, an MP40 upstairs. Someone changed that gun out. Yep, one of he picked up an MP40. And he just got a pickoff. I believe that was Snake Doctor coming back. Or, yeah, no, that was. Nice shot there. But now you've got the Germans breaching in, and 2 people just disappeared from the British side. Grenade going over. Hammer not realizing it. With that slower fuse, he could pick it up and throw it back, but now you got Ezio breaching up, and that is going to be it for the British force here. Smoke grenade going out. We still have... Oh, I stand corrected. We got Mickey Hall and Madoni here. But the Germans just did a very good systematic breach. You got Mickey coming back over. Trying to get some pickoffs with that Bren gun. Grenade just got to... More grenade just getting off to... Wow. Okay. Dark Neo, the only German guy up here. I really like that the grenades are doing a lot more damage than what I normally see in PvP. It means they're a lot more of a threatening weapon. And it's a lot more realistic in that sense. So meanwhile, you have some of the guys that left with that Bren carrier coming back into this position as the Germans are starting to do a massive breach on this objective. And it's just 5 British guys to defend against at least, I want to say, 15 to 20 Germans here. Yeah, about literally 20 on the dot that are, you know, just coming around on this position. So the Brits are going to have to do a really good defense here. But they're going to have to go at least 4-1. Excuse me, 5-1 each. No, with 5, it will be 4-1. But with this many forces to contend with, it's going to be a tough one. But if the British employ some good ambush tactics here, I could see them getting the victory here. Doyle doesn't realize he's got all these Germans on his side here. Anderson picking off one of the Germans early on with that Bren gun. If Doyle now were to come up and start picking off some dudes, he would be in a good position here, but he's got to be careful because I think some of the Germans saw his movement. And he's now outside of the building? Anderson appears to have died, though. Just got picked off. And you have the, quickly, just to scroll back over here, the Germans pulling off of this position, still slowly circling that one. Achilles, thanks for the 28-month resub, my man. I hope everything's going okay for yourself. Hope you keep enjoying all the streams, and I hope Antonio's okay. Stay safe from COVID. Doidle getting knocked out by that MP40, manages to trade some shots with Ghost. And now it's just up to Sam and Snakes, as Snakes, I believe, is crawling around in this cornfield here. This is a really good spot to be in. He just has to find the enemy. Oh my gosh, they're actually going to run into each other. Oh, Snakes. Yeah, Snakes saw him. Snakes totally fucking saw him. Snakes is going to try to follow now. Snakes' best bet were to be to take out Camus here with like a knockout punch, take his gun, shoot him with his gun. The German gun, that way it wouldn't confuse weapon PID here. And then just run his own one-man guerrilla war. Oh, I think he might have just seen some of the German forces come around. You got to be careful, though, because Popovsky, with a machine gun, actually, that would be like the best gun for Snakes to steal. We still have Salmon up there. I'm rooting for the British. I always love the underdogs, but Snakes has to make some good plays here. He could crawl up and get a snipe on Zelder here, which I think he's trying to line up. But Murdy coming around! Oh, well, Snakes is screwed. He gets the kill, but... Oh, he's able to get away! Jonathan noticing him, but he picks the worst little opening! Wait. Snakes doesn't know... He just shoots... Cornfields, man! Fucking cornfields! Grenade getting thrown on Murdy by Mr. White! Thankfully, Murdy survives that M39, but wow! Snakes catching a lucky break. I think someone just went into the driver's seat of this vehicle. Yep. The Germans are going to have to sweep the cornfields for this man. Otherwise, just to look back real quick, British forces are pulling back. Germans are rallying up in that position. We still have the British defensive line right here for that Firefly. But I could... Ooh, there's actually a lot of openness here, but if the Germans were to come from the right angle, they could easily come up and AT that Vic, no problem. With grenades or satchels. Alright, Snake's on 3 kills, reloading his Lee Enfield. But Camus here... Camus, excuse me, he's no slooch. He can hear that, and it looks like... Oh, I thought he was going to start running over all the corn to try to find Snakes. That would be the smart thing to do. But now you got Snakes running over here. Camus crawling up. He can hear that movement. Let's have a Car 98, so it would be bolt action on bolt action. Snake's slowly crawling, knowing that he might be have his footsteps get hurt here. Snakes, I think he's trying to check if he can get another free kill on the gunner there, but driver just got back in and is going away. That sound can conceal his footsteps, though, from Camus here. And we have the 2 UK guys actually joining Samnin here in the bell tower. Samnin quickly looking down and checking to make sure they're friendly. Just heard a gunshot. A Snake is now poking out. Sits up a little bit. Might get a headshot on one of these guys. Yep. He just needs to let these guys hold still. They're on the MG. Puts a shot out. Gets a hit. Gets another hit. Camus is very close, though. Snakes needs to consider pulling away because the Germans are going to start honing in on his position. Because he still has that Lee Enfield. Camus isn't being a slooch. He slowly crawling to find an angle. He might see him. Yep. Oh! Camus getting the double tap. Because when you kill people in IFA, they scream, so that's how you know. Snake got a little too comfortable there, unfortunately. And was taken out. I just want to see his final kill count. If I can find him. He's a skull. I'm blind, I swear. I'm actually blind. Okay, no. No. No, 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 no. There he is. Okay, yeah, it's because the frickin' name. 4 kills for himself. So, I would say the best out of everyone there, but it just wasn't enough. And Fleesh is also making sure he's dead. Or did they see movement from these other German forces and freak out? Don't see any blood, don't see any bodies. Man, oh man. Got these 3 guys in the frickin' clock tower here. Alright, what do they have? Do they all have Lee Enfields? I see Lee Enfield, yeah, alright. Lee Enfield clock tower game. Let's go. They just gotta catch some of the Germans in the open here. Alright, hearing some grenades thrown. That was a Kar 98 Grenadier round coming in and knocking Bluck back. You have the an MG42 by Rick there suppressing that tower as well. He might have also been the guy that knocked out Bluck there. That's a small target, but an MG42 with its high fire rate could easily get a shot up there. And I think everyone's starting to figure out that there might be something up on that radio tower. Now, if they had any charges, what they should do is they should put it at the base of this building and see if they could take out the clock tower itself. But I am not 100% sure that that building has a destroy texture. So they're trying to throw grenades up. Great grenade throw by Zagoda, and he actually... Wow. That grenade penetrated through 2 floorboards. Damn. Maybe they buffed grenades a little too much there. Good God. What an arm on Zagoda. Holy shit. I don't think the Brits are going to be able to win this one. We still have, mathematically, 46 minutes, 40 seconds, so only half the time's done with. The Germans still have plenty of forces to go send an attack on the Firefly and dead it, and if they're able to get that, I think that's going to be GG. Saman wakes back up.
Liru, I want my goat back.
The chili one, yeah, we can make a mini pay-for-pain event within reason. I can come up with random bullshit reasons if we want to make it pay-for-pain, but if you want to turn Paw's little 1-hour op into, like, Hellfest, we can do that. Thank you for the $3 spot. Alright, so... Samnin here, fighting for his life in the bell tower. As now Luffy gets over, Saman throws a smoke grenade. And now the rounds are penetrating through the wooden floorboard here. And they're pointing them out. And they're trying to fire through the little slits right here. Oh! Who was that? Luffy was able to get a shot through, unfortunately. I mean, literally, the guns are clipping through, too. And he's even bayoneting his feet through the little slit there to make sure he's down. Oh, rest in peace. Again, that fucking grenade throw that started this. Hot damn. They just got to get the double taps. There's one. There's a fucking bayonet on the other. There we go. Oh, don't stab him in the dick, man. You already won. There you go. Stab him in the back. Alright, with that, what do we have still for the British group? We've got 3 guys. And we have a single defense team, and we have NASA in the back over here. With fact of the Logic, who's a Bren Gunner, and they're on the literal edge of the map. I don't know, it's looking more and more like a German victory here. This ain't it, Chief. Flip for Flap, meanwhile, still alive. Is he still prone in that freaking wheat field? Yes, he is. Hiding in plain sight. But Germans have control of this neutral position as long as they keep a man in there for the next, or at least by the 1 hour, 40-minute mark. As long as there's a single blue 4 guy in there, then the Germans will get 3 points. And I don't think the supremacy bonus is live yet because we have 2 plus 5 plus 3, which is 10, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, okay. But the Germans are going to send an attack to that Firefly, and they're going to knock out that garrison. So I think the final score here is going to be 3 for the British and 7 for the Germans, based off of this. Otherwise, chat, I'm going to speak a coded message to you. I'm sorry, my brain is not working right now. How are you all doing? That's what I was trying to say. I was going to make a joke because we're on a 5-minute delay, so I was going to speak to you from 5 minutes in the future, but I just completely butchered how I wanted to execute that joke, so please forgive me on that regard. But I could see this German group holding that German group because they still have their half-track coming down to clear out that position. It's up to Flip for Flap on how he wants to do that, but I think the Germans have just been able to do better maneuvering overall. Yes, you had Sky Online do an absolutely beautiful sabotage of these 3 guns, and he traded his life for it. But the German ambush on the first British squad right here, the sweeping for Mr. Cool and all the remaining remnants, the Germans holding this position, ambushing another British group that came in, and then the second British group that came in to try to flank, got flanked themselves by a different German group. It's just the Germans have been able to counter everything the British side has done for this operation, and that in itself has allowed the Germans to get ahead. So we are seeing the German forces. I thought I saw them moving south. It looks like some of them might be breaking away. Yep. Without the... Nope, the half-track's back here. So they're going to start moving on foot. They've got about 1 kilometer to work with, and command is starting to fold in. I think it's going to rally with the Firefly, because if the British are able to keep the Firefly intact, they would win. It's just they have a big loss in manpower here. The Germans are adjusting this other half-track. Just want to look at something real quick. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure the Iron Cross wouldn't get me Twitch banned. It's a swastika. That's the hate symbol. But you know, the Iron Cross is still I'm pretty sure it's still used as a medal in German stuff. So been trying to be a little sneaky about a few things, but you know, Twitch is Twitch. So No way to really argue. Now, how could have the British done better here is a good question. And I think it really just came down to the PvP. If Gotland just crawled under this position right here and was able to get that Thompson mag dump in the back of the 4 Germans as they were running away and score a few kills, that would have helped in the beginning. But really, it was just the Germans getting entrenched in areas and forcing a squad-on-squad firefight while the Germans were on the defensive to basically catch a lot of the attacking British forces off guard and score a lot of free kills. That happened both here and up on the corner up here with that initial Bren carrier coming up. And then once the Germans had to then clear out British positions, the Germans brought in an extra squad to do it. And it does kind of attest to the fact that the Germans did have an extra, like, 4 or 5 guys in the beginning of the op. That definitely was a bit helpful for the German side. But just the maneuvering of the British seemed a little too slow when they were trying to get their secondary squads into play. And the Germans were just able to deal with everything. Send in the rovers, jeez. So we have command that's driven up by... Excuse me, a group's driven up by commander here. And yeah, I think he is having this force come down. Because the British, the Germans, they know they still have, like, 38.5 minutes remaining. So they've got plenty of time to do some maneuvering into this position here. Got a Bren carrier that's moved up here. NASA is joining his guys on this flank. They have one of the machine guns here ready to go. And they're going to do their best to try to overwatch this position. But they need to get someone close and hiding by that Firefly to deny any German forces getting on top of the Firefly and not being seen by that entrenchment. Because that is entirely possible based off of this angle. Because all they need to do is literally run up, put a det charge down, and run away. I think they're just banking on the fact that they would have to get behind the tank to do it. And that's where they have their Overwatch element here. But if the Germans just pop a bunch of smoke grenades in front of the damn thing after they realize where the British are set up, I think a Satchel guy could easily get in there and take things out. Now this is interesting. We have a 4-man half-track here. A Brit with an STG-44 there. A sniper and a Bren gunner. So 2 automatic rifles and a long-range rifle. They could actually do a lot of damage if they get some good ambushes in here. Cypher, it was great to play with you under as USDSL in the Skelly. That was really fun. You did a good job. I'm not going to be here for the non-op. I've got other things to do with other communities, but hope you can keep enjoying TSB, man. That was fun. Forgive me if you've been in TSB for a while. I haven't been doing ground stuff in TSB over the past 2 weeks because I've been busy with maintaining the Discord or IRL stuff. All a mess. And yeah, a lot of the U.S. is having a bunch of snow right now. Otherwise, the 4-man half-track driving around to, I guess, join the infantry over here. So they have 2 half-tracks assaulting with that infantry group coming in. And a small garrison has been set up on the objective here. That's smart. Still have command staying low right here. I think these 3 British guys aren't going to have any indication that the German commander's right there, so they'll move past him. We could still see an upset here. They could, German forces could get that objective but take heavy casualties, and then these 3 could still somehow wrestle control from the Germans here. And then the Germans coming back could also get ambushed. There's still a lot of ways this can go down, but it's definitely favoring the German side at this time. Germans good at maneuvering. Who would have known, right? Yeah, Blitzkrieg. And now we're just going to wait on watching these maneuvers. These guys are getting the idea to go over by the wheat field, but I think Flip for Flap's on Whisper, so they shouldn't be able to hear them. There's no way they can see him. So the question is, can he hear that movement? He might have heard a little bit of movement there, but it's really hard to tell over the wind on the wheat fields here. Iron Cross is not used as a medal, but a vehicle insignia, such as on tanks and planes. The Iron Cross is currently up for debate if it should be awarded again as a reward, and it has been always been an insignia. All right. That's fair, because I know there are Iron Cross medals, too, that they give the military units, but I know they've also always kept it as a military symbol. So, again, just for Twitch's concern, I just want to make sure Twitch doesn't see that and go, oh, hate speech. Ban. Because that would suck right now. 360 security, they kept getting outflanked. Yeah, Achilles, but at the same time, the British, the Germans were really good at fighting unfair here. Again, using 2 squads against 1 squad. So it's really hard to pull good 360 when you're outnumbered about 2 to 1, you know? Yeah, the British just kept getting outflanked by multiple German groups, and that's where Germans have been able to basically get the advantage here. Thanks for the 100 bits, man. Hope Antonio's okay. I'll be curious to see what those 3 British guys do, but this German assault, the British sent a few guys down to do some recon here. They're running back. You're seeing some angles of this assault change. Some machine gunners get into position. This is a British version of Fury. Except the tank is just a prop for destruction, not something to be in. A little bit of desync right there on the British side. As the Germans are planning a pincer maneuver here. Half-track coming out. You just saw this RTO point out that half-track here. As this gun is now being pointed out to it, so it'll start firing any second. It's up to Clemen. If he can land a headshot on that gunner early on, be a great victory for him, but he does not have a direct line on it. The tree is just in the way, and you got the machine gunner firing at the Firefly there, trying to bait out the British force here. Half-track quickly backing away, realizing that the gunner is on a bit of a flank there. And this other pincer force, other part of the pincer, excuse me, is now going to potentially move up there and try to engage them from the rear. Again, the Germans are fighting unfair, 2 groups to 1. And it's been a big success on the German side to be able to rally that. So, Flip for Flap's been showing he's been very good at commanding here, and just NASA's been trying to do the same thing, don't get me wrong, it's just his forces haven't been as quick on the maneuvering. So you got the RTO leading the charge here. Maybe not the best idea for One Life PvP, but they're trying. And NASA, British Ground Command, is down, caught out of position. Back to the launcher, trying to go prone with his Bren gun. Oh, dear. Now British doesn't have a GC. Surprised the British aren't throwing grenades over in that direction. Now you got the Germans. They've set up their half-track right here. Now they're trying to use it as cover. And the British are getting flanked right here, so they can't focus on defense on the Firefly. Because Camus was able to get prone right behind the tank and use as cover, and his feet are covered by the half-track. Back to the house here, trying to come up. Getting shot by Saigon here. Or is that Sajanka? He goes down, though. Back to house, doing a quick reload here. Uh-oh. Fact cannot see past this hedge. He's going prone as now Foxhound is coming around. Knocks out Odessa. Mr. Squirrel with a stolen Bren gun. Fox not realizing. Holy shit. All right, Satchel going off. Fact of the house getting a lot of kills here. Foxhound pulls away. Oh, he's going to spot him, though. And is unable to get the kill. Quick reload going. Oh, poor marksman. All right, that Firefly has cooked off. So that's 3 points to the German side. But there's actually a lot of Germans that have died in this assault, mainly thanks to Fact of the House here on 5 kills. He's pulled back probably to bandage himself there. And we still have a decent amount of British forces here. 3 compared to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Germans up. But unfortunately on this side, we have 1 British guy still alive, 1 down. You've got 1 German guy down up here. So the question is going to become, is Fact of the House, after he's done bandaging, going to come back and sweep the rest of those players, get back with the British garrison and counterattack, because they might actually have a chance here, because the numbers are starting to come closer. But again, it's going to have to be up to the British players to keep getting really high positives on their KDs. So Giorgio coming around. Back to the house, checking this body, but it's a marksman. He's not going to find anything good. I'd be taking his grenades, though, because those German grenades, ooh, they have been nasty all around. So will the question be, if Fact comes back, checks the spot, and sees these people bandaging? They don't hear his footsteps. Gior's pulling security on the wrong side. Oh, but Gio's able to get the kill! The thing about that Bren gun, though, is when you're standing with it, the recoil after the first 2 shots is very difficult to control. So you have to be accurate on that first shot to be successful here. And we just had Mr. White pick off. Nasty angle right there. Rest in peace, Matoni there. I don't see the British coming back. We still have a good 26 minutes on the clock here, but it's going to be up to 2-6 EME guys to hold a guerrilla war against 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 German players. 2v5. 2v10, excuse me. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No. They do have a Bren carrier too, but I don't see it. I didn't even notice this. They, yeah, 12 actually, because this half-track drove back. It's also lost both of its front wheels. It's been driving on its axles. Ooh, it's a bad sound to hear. Carlito's down right here in the fetal position. I think he's going to bleed out, unfortunately. Same with Hall. All the Germans need to do now, though, is just hold security. The only way the British can win at this point is if they take the central objective. The Germans currently have 4 points because they've also gotten supremacy bonus because there's less than 5 British, 6 British players down. It's 5 or less. But if the 2 British players here are able to somehow wrestle control away from the center of the town here, then I could see them succeeding, but it's very unlikely. But these two need to make a decision and start moving, because if they can somehow run into the small groups of Germans as they're pulling back to this position and whittle their numbers down, that would be viable. Maybe they could ambush this half-track. I don't know. Yep, it's the British version of Fury. Luffy now driving up to this trench line. Are the 6 EME guys going to try to ambush it? Because this is a good opportunity. If they can find a good shot on the gunner of this half-track, it's going to literally present itself to them. Literally. Literally, this is the perfect shot! Perfect shot! Someone take that shot, please! You cannot get a better headshot! Oh! Wouldn't it be nice? I get why they didn't take the shot, though, because they don't know how many additional Germans are in there that would all just come out and murder them, but... Good God. Germans are just driving blindly around here to make sure all the British guys were dead in that garrison. But I think the Brits would have been fine if they took that one shot. All right. 3 defenders. 3 more defenders coming back. 3 more coming back. Wait, it is 10. 3, 6, 9. Yep, okay. I was wrong. I counted the APC twice. It is still 2v10. There is still 21 minutes on the clock. We're either going to see some sort of power play here by the Brits. Otherwise, it's pretty much game over. I will stick around for the bonus round, though. And I will... I'll ask NASA if the bonus round has to keep the 5-minute stream delay. Because if it doesn't, what I'll do is I'll stop the stream, I'll let it finish the 5 minutes, and then when those 5 minutes are done with, we'll then immediately, you know, go right into a live 30-minute bonus round. And we can chill and watch these guys murk each other. Yep, so Hall just bled out. $20 minutes left. I don't know. I mean, so for this firefight, why it went so well for the British was fact of the logic getting a really good flank on the German side and racking up 5 kills for himself. It's unfortunate him and NASA were cut out of position, but in all honesty, that did let him come around, and he had the right gun to do a lot of damage here. So, again, it just came down to the PvP, but unfortunately, throughout the rest of the operation before that event, just the British were whittled down so much. And that forced FACT and NASA to come in and, you know, stick with their remaining garrison here. Alright, I think, yep, he just bled out. Flip for Flap getting up. Don't know if he heard those guys or heard the gunshots. But all they have to do is set up a defensive perimeter around the town, and they'll be fine. They've got 3 people in the purple zone.
Let's give them a warm welcome, shall we?
I will say, though, the subtle detail on this map that the mission creator made was actually really cool. You know, because it told a story, you know? Between, because that gun was facing the other way, but between the smoking positions in the distance. You got another one right here, which is a random German tank. Something just blew it up. It's kind of cool to see that little level of ambiance in missions. Because especially when you make horror ops for Zeusing or just general missions, ambience is very important. Just shooting out the church windows. Stabbing out the church windows. This fucking clock tower battle, though. Jeez Louise. I know in TSB, we tell people never to go in, like, really high positions that are hard to get up to. Because if you go down, the medic then has to go all the way up there to get you and put themselves at risk. But this... At the same time, I don't think anyone was planning for the fact that a German grenade would go off literally here and kill 1 person and knock 2 people out, you know? Nasty. So 6EME starting to be a bit more mobile here. They're probably going to take this northern road in. They've got 17 minutes remaining. Still a decent amount of time, but... Germans are going to have good overwatch from the clock tower. They got 3 people in the garrison, another 3 people coming to the garrison. Flip for Flap is chilling in this high building, watching a random angle. I don't see how this is going to go down for the British. NASA did not get back to me.
Let's give them a warm welcome, shall we?
All right. Yep, they've gotten off that clock tower, probably after finding all of the bodies. But you got the 2 6EME guys coming.
Let's give them a warm welcome, shall we?
Now we wait. What 6-bat plan? I don't know. Just the general plans here is to see what the 2 6EME guys can do and what the 10 guys, well, right now it's 9, can do to defend. Flip for Flap can potentially come around and do a flank, but... What do we got here? Again, for the record, it is a a Bren, and a Lee Enfield with a bayonet, and they are fighting Headquarters Man with an MP40. Mr. Papajeski, I'm sorry if I butchered his name, with a G43 and grenades. Luffy with a Kar 98 and a few kills under his belt. Karma's here with another Kar 98 and a few kills under his belt and some grenades. Geo with a G43 and a radio to talk with command. Mr. Squirrel with a Bren gun and a kill. Cy McKell, I'm sorry if I'm butchering people's names, by the way, with a Kar 98 and another radio backpack. And then you've got 3 people in here. You've got Mr. White reviewing a dead comrade with an MP40 and 2 kills under his belt. You have Murdy with an MG42 and no kills, but proper suppression weapon. And Fleesh down here with no kills, but a G43. Good range of guns, not too many automatics, but that MG42 can easily make up for that. Ay. Everything's doing... I'm doing alright, Pro Sniper. Thanks for asking. And Son of Shadow, Op is going good, just the Germans have been able to be one step ahead on the Brits. Alright, so NASA did get back to me. There is no 5-minute stream delay needed for the bonus round, so I'll time the stream. I'll be able to take a 5-minute break to set up, and then we will teleport 5 minutes in the future. And by then I'll have the title change to indicate it's the bonus round. I'll also change the title to state how many people are, but I won't start streaming until that 5 minutes elapses. Alright, quick time check. 12 minutes, 30 seconds. 260 ME guys coming in. They're going to have to first deal with the bell tower. Probably use some grenades. That's going to attract the rest of the Germans' attention. They might send a 3-man contingent to come around and check things out. Then you're going to need this Bren gun. After those grenades are thrown and these guys are taken out, that Bren gun needs to take all 3 of those dudes out. Basically, in order to do that, they're going to have to find a good position where they have little to no recoil, total control of the gun, to land those headshots, and then hopefully they'll still have grenades left over to know exactly where Mr. White, Murdy, and Fleech are, throw grenades in there, and then they win. Easy. Easy play. I think we're about to see one of the greatest clutches in Arma 3 history. Even better than the Audrey Hotto incident. Going to be action-packed. Loic is going to come out of here with at least 5 kills. Binio, probably 4. Which makes no sense because there's 10 enemy players, but hey, that's why I said at least. Zagoda, yeah, you did. I can't believe it worked. Good work, man. See, this is good for the Brits, though, because Zagoda's in here, which means he's dead, which means the British forces don't have to worry about any crazy grenades that'll get super multi-kills on the British forces here. So, Brits being extra cautious here, systematically clearing buildings, but here's a really good line on the bell tower here. I don't think they would have spotted either of those guys. I'm going to click on Luffy here if I can. Oh, he sees a British guy on the window. Loic is going to get 10 kills and clutch everything. Because his battle buddy might have just died. Luffy, have mercy, man. Hey, Luffy, no. Luffy, buddy, you're not the main character. Come on, Loic's the main character here. Come on, guys. Come on, we're trying to have it. No. Papa, come on. Let him live. He's just a boy. He wants to live, damn it. Clutch. I'm not gonna lie, that played out as as well as I thought it would. Yeah. Yeah. Luffy's gonna come up and double tap. I'll wait for the screen to come up, and then I'll end the stream, and then we'll, you know, do that seamless transition to the bonus round. So, whew. The Brit Vietnam guy, yeah, that was Factologic. He got 5 kills in that. That was amazing. Come on, wake up. Wake up, Loic. Come on, you got the Bren gun. Gotta do things, man. You got people you gotta go kill. I just realized if you look at the Bren gun from the opposite direction and get rid of the carry handle, it looks like a weird-looking AK. just bend that thing down. No, it would be back there would be the trigger. It's just a reverse-engineered AK. Literally, just reversed.
I want my goat back.
Send in the Americans. I wish we could, Achilles, but unfortunately the Brits are down all of their RTOs. No! Loic! Loic is dead. Well, that is it. Again, we'll wait for the official scoreboard, and I will see you guys hopefully very, very soon afterwards. But, hot damn. Thank you so much for watching. Cooperate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. But again, that's for the recording, because we're going to be back in a little bit. So there we go. 3 points to the Brits. 6 for... Oh, it was only 2 points for the Crossroads. I could have sworn it said 3. But anyway, 9 players still alive. So, hopefully, I will see you immediately on the transition.